Hello, hello, and a very good afternoon to you from whichever corner of the Republic of Kenya you are tuned in. You're right in time for the 1 p.m. news coverage here on TV47. On air is News Now. My name is Samson Jura. Let's begin the broadcast with the highlights. Top on News Now.
Imeenda na watu wengi wetu sana. Na ningeomba watu wajihadhari na hii mambo. Hata kama maji ni kidogo ama ni mingi.
Police retrieved the body of a middle-aged man who drowned in River Tana. Wundanyi Member of Parliament criticizes Ndindi Nyoro's removal from the Budget Committee.
It pains me kumuita immediate form. Manake huyu bwana hakukosea kutolewa mwenyekiti wa budget.
Also,
tutaendelea kukalia hii area mpaka amani idumu na iwe tradition yetu area hii.
The head of public service Felix Koskei stresses the urgent need to eliminate banditry in the North Rift region. Live on Facebook at TV47 Kenya as well as on YouTube, that is TV47 Kenya, and on our website that is www.tv47.digital. 22047 is the short SMS code. The hashtag on X is TV47 News Now. Let's begin. A chief was shot dead on Thursday evening while on a mission to recover stolen livestock following a banditry attack in Chipilat village, Baringo County. The chief was shot while engaging bandits who had raided the Ngaratuko area on Thursday evening. His body was discovered early Friday morning following heavy gunfire. 2 people have now been killed in the area in less than a week after another person was shot dead on Friday in Ngaratuko.
Kwa hii mambo ya insecurity, kama head of public service, we are not going to leave Tiati behind because of insecurity. We are going to deal with these criminals. We are going to deal with anybody who is causing insecurity in this region. We don't want North Rift to continue being branded that is an insecurity area, that it is a disturbed area. Hatuwezi kubali. So muwe tayari tukubali mambo ya peace. Sisi tutaendelea na kukibizana na nyinyi hapa. Tutaleta ma-APCs ya kutosha. Tutaleta hata mandege. Baka hii area iwe free for what? Development.
Still on matter securities in the North Rift, the head of public service, Felix Koskei, has emphasized the urgent need to end banditry in the North Rift, stating that criminal activities must be eradicated to foster development in the region. Speaking at Koloa Secondary School during a Thanksgiving service, Koskei condemned the ongoing banditry and killings, calling them a shame for the region. He noted that the insecurity continues to cripple the area's economic prospects, his remarks coming in the wake of a deadly attack in Loruk, Baringo North, where a chief was shot dead during a raid by bandits.
Mafupi kisha baadaye tutaenda awamu ya maombi mafupi.
Tuko na imani kwamba kukuja kwako pande hii leo na kuja kututembelea italeta faida kubwa kwa jamii hii ambayo imebaki nyuma kimaendeleo.
Tutaendelea kukalia hii area mpaka amani idumu na iwe tradition yetu area hii. President ametoa amri, alisema kama mnataka hapa ifanywe hiyo army barracks, atatuma askari wote. Alisema Jamalingo atatuma hapa mpaka tujenge even barracks hapa na training ground. Kwa sababu ya nini? Kwa sababu tunataka Tiati iendelee kama sehemu zingine za Kenya hii. Insecurity should not be a hindrance for development, and we are not going to accept Tiati to be behind because of some few elements. Wanaleta insecurity hapa, vijana wetu wanakimbia, wanaenda sijui wanaita betting, ikinyesha kidogo nasikia wanakimbia kidogo, wanatafuta mbuzi 3-4, alafu sasa ameiba na anasema anaenda kulete. Unalete na sio yako. So tuachane hiyo maneno na tu focus kwa mambo ya kujitafutia mali kwa njia halali.
Now, the body of a middle-aged man who drowned while swimming in River Tana has been recovered after a harrowing day-long search. According to the police report, Richard Kimani, a Jua Kali artisan from Garissa, was at the riverbank with an unidentified friend seeking shade when he decided to cool off by swimming. After some time, when the friend could no longer see him in the river, or rather in the water, he attempted to call for help, but rescue efforts proved unsuccessful.
Hii mto sio mto safe, hii mto iko na mambo yake. Na tunawaomba jameni, watu mkisikia joto inawazidi, msiseme mnakuja kuoga kwa mto, kwa sababu hii mto iko na wenyewe, na hao wenyewe wasije kuja kuwachukua na mkaondoka.
And of course, given that we are currently in the rainy seasons, we do urge every individual to be careful when crossing rivers or rather being in large water bodies. Moving on, the Commission on Administrative Justice, Ombudsman, has called on the State Department for Lands and Physical Planning under the Ministry of Lands to implement urgent reforms. The Commission stated that it has received numerous complaints against the State Department for Lands, including delays in issuance of title deeds, abuse of power, inefficiencies in the adherence system, and widespread injustice.
Which the Commissioner of Administrative Justice is directing the State Department of Lands, Physical Planning under the Ministry of Land, Public Works, Housing and Urban to implement urgent reforms to streamline the land processing procedures, enforce accountability measures, enhance transparency in its operation. Additionally, the Commission is advocating for the adoption of digital platforms to track complaints and improve efficiency, as well as training of the officials in the customer care service and ethical conduct. These measures are aimed to address systematic issues in public service delivery, foster more responsive and transparent institutions, and contribute to resolving Kenya's broader land-related challenges, discouraging investment and development. The Commission has therefore given the Principal Secretary, State Department of Land and Physical Planning, 60 days to review all the 206 pending complaints and provide a detailed response, clearly indicating the department's position, steps taken, or intended action to ensure prompt resolution.
Human rights organizations led by the Coalition for Grassroots Human Rights Defenders held a peaceful walk in Katangi, Kaliani location, Machakos County. The event aimed to urge the government to uphold and protect the rights of all citizens. During the walk, activists expressed concerns over increasing violations of human rights, citing a worrying trend where religious organizations appear to be turning against human rights defenders. They also raised alarm over the rising cases of femicide and the slow pace of justice in courts, leaving victims and families frustrated.
We can't live in a country where young people are being criminalized, or young women we are being criminalized for who we love and for what we choose. We can't be in a country where also our seeds are being criminalize, our farmers who are also here, who are also our members, are not protected. And that's why we, in our own diversity, including people with disability, women in our own diversity, men, gender conforming people and young people, we are here to say that today we are marching for all lives. We are here also to call out Kenya Christian Professional Association for also being homophobic and not protecting all the lives.
Na leo tuna march juu ya lives zetu. Kitu ya kwanza tuna march kwa wakulima wetu, mbegu zetu, tuna march kwa bengu zetu, vyakula vyetu. Ukiangalia serikali wameleta policies mingi ambazo zinakandamiza chakula ya Eastern region. Kama ndengu, unasikia ndengu kuna policy imewekwa. Kila kitu chakula yetu kinakandamizwa. Kwa hivyo tuna march for our foods, for our seeds, for our lives.
GMO hatutaki. Tunataka hizi mbegu zetu za kiasili tuo tunaziweka na tunatembesea kila mwananchi yako katika hii Kenya au anapanda mbegu yake ya kiasili.
Now, the Civil Society Reference Group Kenya has held its annual General Assembly coinciding with the referendum on the review of its constitution and the election of national and county oversight committee members. Speaking during the event, National Returning Officer Stephen Kabiri urged the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) to embrace digital voting systems, citing benefits such as transparency, verifiability, and cost efficiency.
Sisi tunasema kama vijana tutatoka nje. Ukweli ama si ukweli? Tunasema kama kwa hiyo shortlisting hauta consider vijana ambayo wameapply bwana rais. Sisi jua sasa hii finance bill ya 2025 ndio itakuwa mbaya. Ukweli ama si ukweli? Na tunasema hivi bwana rais, sisi hatuna shida na chochote. Tunataka hata for the first time, hata kuweka mama sisi hatuna shida. Ni kuweka kijana hatuna shida. Lakini mambo ya kutuambia bwana Charles Nyachai ambaye tulianza kumsikia before nizaliwe, mama yangu akiwa kijana. Tena sasa hivi mimi nimekuwa naenda kuwa mzee, bado tunasikia Charles Nyachai tumekataa. Ukweli ama si ukweli?
We had over 200 young applicants for the commissioners. Unfortunately, they were not shortlisted, and that's why we are calling upon Dr. Makanda and the entire panel to factor in the face of young people in that listing before the interviews.
Members of Parliament from Baringo County have lauded President William Ruto's Thursday appointments of new principal secretaries in the broad-based government. Speaking during a Thanksgiving service or other function at Ruth Kiptui Girls High School in Baringo North, Baringo Member of Parliament Joseph Makilap and his Elder Maravin counterpart Musa Sirma said the inclusion of the opposition in the recent appointments will unite the country.
Broad-based is the way to go. Na hatuna aibu, tunataka kusema asante kwa sababu saa hii serikali iko na nguvu ya kutosha. Serikali tumeungana na wale wapinzani wetu na tumesema tulete watu wote hapa ndani.
We have agreed with the president that this country belongs to all of us. And the changes that he did yesterday, the permanent secretary that was brought in, we actually support them and support those changes because we want a united Kenya. Tunataka Kenya ya watu wote vile wanafunzi wanasoma.
Machakos County Deputy Governor Francis Mwangangi has criticized National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi for proposing to scrap the 47 counties, arguing that they are unsustainable and a strain to the government finances. Mwangangi, who spoke during a burial in Mua Ward, Machakos Town Sub-County, said the move will kill devolution and return the country to the dark days when power was concentrated in Nairobi. Mbadi, who spoke during an interview, said the country should revert to the former 8 provinces or a maximum of 14 administrative units.
Devolution, which we fought for, all of us, zile tulipigania maneno ya ungatusi, tukapigana sisi wote, tukaleta katiba mpya. Sasa hii maneno ya kuingia kwa serikali kuna mambo mingi. Sababu Raila ameingia huko. Siku hizi yeye ndiye mtetezi wa Ruto. Siku hizi Raila ndiye anajua ile mbaya ya serikali na ile nzuri na ndiye anatetea. Hata bila anatetea Ruto hawezi sema. Ni waombe ODM. Kwa sababu sasa wako kwa serikali waache wasimalize ugatuzi. Kwa sababu nimeona waziri wa fedha Mbandi rafiki yangu. Tumekuwa pamoja bunge. Anasema we need to do away with the counties. Wanataka watengeneze kitu kingine. Tunawaambia wananchi wa Kenya walipiga kura kutetea na kuleta ugatuzi. Tunataka fedha yetu hapa chini. So Mbandi usiingie treasury ukule ushibe usahau wa Kenya wanahangaika. Tunataka hiyo fedha itoke juu ikuje wapi?
The Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Wycliffe Oparanya, has announced that the government plans to merge financial institutions that provide loans into a single consolidated fund known as Biashara Fund. Speaking at Huisero Stadium during the issuance of Uwezo Fund checks worth Kenya shillings 57.5 million alongside Youth Fund loans amounting to 28 million Kenya shillings, Oparanya stated that the new fund will serve as a one-stop center for government loans.
Enterprise Fund tuko na MSEA Micro Small Enterprise
ambayo ni nyumbani
tumepeana
kuendeleza biashara zenu, si ndio? Tunataka biashara i-expand.
Mambo ya Uwezo Fund tulianza zamani. Shida tunayo katika Uwezo Fund, tuko na watu wengine ambao wamepewa pesa na hawarudishi hiyo pesa. Ujue dawa ya deni ni kufanya nini? Wengine wanakopa youth fund, akiwa youth and a lady anaenda anakopa women fund, tena anaenda kwa group anakopa Uwezo Fund. Sasa serikali imeamua hizi funds nyingi ziwekwe pamoja, iwe fund moja ambayo itasaidia Wakenya. So hivi karibuni utapata Uwezo Fund, Women Fund, Youth Fund itawekwa pamoja kama biashara fund ya kusaidia watu wetu.
Wamesema sisi hatushiki kura wakati huu, sasa kitambulisho ni bure. Rais alitoa amri 2 days ago, kitambulisho ni bure.
Mtoto wa shule ambaye ako chini ya mwenye amefika miaka 18 kwa apply kitambulisho hata lipishwa shilingi yoyo. Sasa mwambie watoto waende wachukue nini? Wakishachukua vitambulisho, sisi tutakuja kuandikisha au kura, tuweke kura yetu kwa meza, tuone wale watu ambao walikuwa wanatutusi hapa, tuna kura tuone.
Now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports, where the Victoria Cup continues to captivate golf fans as Uganda has extended its lead after exciting. Across the country, that is in regards to the WRC Safari Rally, the third series in the WRC global competition. The 2025 WRC Safari Rally comes to a close on Sunday in Naivasha, Nakuru County. The closing ceremony will take place at the Hell's Gate. And our sports gurus, Tony Kwaland and Freda Rocho, are currently at the KCB Den at the Sleeping Warrior in Kikopey, where thousands of fans are currently enjoying the thrills and spills of the race. And of course, as I have mentioned, Tony Kwalanda and Freda Rocho are currently stationed at that particular area to ensure that TV47 viewers and fans alike are able to enjoy and also be part of that particular action, even without being there. Remember, the competition ends tomorrow on Sunday, and of course I do understand our very own Tony Kwalanda is at the scene. Tony Kwalanda, if you can get me, tell us what is happening at this particular moment. You do understand already the Japanese guy, I don't know the name is quite tricky to to be quite honest, Takatumbo something, he has led in the SS13. Where you are at the moment, what is happening and what are we expecting this particular afternoon and going on into Sunday?
Indeed, as we've just rightfully heard there, we are coming to you live all the way in Naivasha in Nakuru County. Specifically, let me actually get into it. We are at that very famous place known as Kikopey. When you're in Kikopey, it's of course one of the towns along the Nakuru-Nairobi highway. Now that is the place where you branch. If you're coming from Nairobi, you branch on your left and come straight. You will find this very marvelous, exciting stages, one of the stages of the 2025 WRC Safari Rally known as Sleeping Warrior. Like clearly, we have not been sleeping since yesterday, since we landed here in Sleeping Warrior. Just to give you the very latest that is happening here in the WRC Safari Rally. Remember, we are at the penultimate stage of this particular competition 2025. Tomorrow is the big day when we know who exactly has won the competition. Now, so we are in this very wonderful, how should I call it? KCB. It's not how I call it. It's known as the KCB Dome. This place is huge, humongous, able to take thousands of fans, hundreds of fans, mix of men, women, young children, families, dignitaries who have converged here at this KCB Den, one of the most spectacular watching areas for the KCB WRC Safari Rally here in Nakuru County. I'm just walking you through. This time, of course, we are taking a break. Remember, even the drivers are taking their usual break from their morning shift of entertaining the fans who have thronged in the different sections, the 21 sections of the WRC Safari Rally. And as the drivers definitely take their lunch and just get to stretch themselves up and enjoy that particular siesta before getting into the afternoon grueling sections. Remember, they are going, of course, starting at Sleeping Warrior, going to Elementaita and Soisambu. It's those three sections, of course, cumulatively go to about 150 kilometers cumulatively here in Nakuru County. So as you can see clearly, as the cars are resting, as we're waiting for the first cars to come and make, of course, the afternoon session, even the fans, families, the crowds here, thousands of them are having their of course, a lunch as they wait for themselves, of course, to engage into the afternoon sector of this particular competition. Remember, some of our drivers, of course, the Kenyan local drivers, have had some very difficult challenges in this particular competition. My very good friend, who everybody was looking forward to, that is the Africa Rally champion, defending champion Karan Patel. Apparently, his Ford Fiesta sucked in the fesh, the fesh dust that, of course, choked up the engine, and then that was the end of Karan Patel's rally. A host of other drivers as well have also had very difficult situations, and now we are looking forward to our very own young lady competitor. It is, of course, the mother and daughter sort of duel in the cockpit of that particular Subaru Impreza that they're using. It's our only, of course, hope at this particular competition. That is Tinashe Gatimu together with the mother, Carol Gatimu. So here, some of the international drivers who are really going for the championship or the 25 points or the top position in the third leg of the WRC calendar. Some of them, of course, we are looking at the likes of, that is Oit Tanak from Estonia, who most people, of course, are saying some of the favorites. We are also looking towards Kalle Rovanpera, who is the defending champion of this particular WRC Safari Rally. Also, Thierry Neville, who is the world champion, also facing a couple of challenges as a driver in this very grueling, toughest competition in the WRC calendar. The likes of the Toyota driver, that is Takamoto Katsuta, also is enjoying this difficult outing here in Kenya. Remember also, Takamoto will be hoping to be making this particular competition a happy hunting ground for him, because remember, he's also celebrating, it's a belated birthday sort of. So the Toyota driver is also looking indeed to leave a mark at this particular competition. The series leader, Elphys Evans from Great Britain, is also a driver to look out, an international driver in the main category of the WRC Safari Rally. Now, I've just heard there's a press conference that the CS for Sports, Salim Vuria, just held earlier on at a press briefing at the main media center in Naivasha, and he has said that the government will commit, actually will bid for the other WRC competitions. Remember, this particular contract with the FIA to host this competition ends next year in 2026. However, the government, through the CS for Sports, has insisted that indeed this competition will be there in the forthcoming future, which means, of course, the government will send a nice delegation to go and present their bid to the FIA. So definitely that gives hope to the country in terms of boosting of tourism. Remember also, drivers get to nurture their talent. Remember the reason why we are here as TV47, as Radio 47, and also as Digital 47 is because we have partnered with KCB as the official media partners. And remember, KCB has been in motorsport for the longest time I can remember, in terms of giving drivers an opportunity to explore their talent and also in nurturing motorsport talent. This year alone, KCB has pumped 209 million Kenya shillings into this particular competition. 23 million Kenya shillings has gone to 4 drivers who are also participating in this particular event. So KCB is definitely at the forefront of ensuring that motorsport continues being one of the most popular sports in Kenya. Remember, just to tell you the seriousness of this sport is that Kenya is the only African nation that is hosting one round of the World Rally Championship. Not South Africa, not Morocco, not Algeria. Kenya is hosting one of the 14 legs of the World Rally Championship. That is humongous. And according to the organizers, we are told that over 8 billion people watch this competition across the world. You can imagine the kind of marketing that Kenya is receiving by just hosting this particular event. We understand, of course, about 980 million Kenya shillings was used or is being used to host this particular competition. So definitely we are looking how much the government will commit in the following years, especially in 2026. But the government has squeezed this budget. You remember in the last editions about 2 billion, but now they're getting into below the 1 billion mark in terms of hosting this particular competition. Now remember, we have our very own junior world rally champion, my very good friend Hamza Anwar, who is also flying Kenya's flag high in this particular competition. We have the likes of Pauline Shegu, a journalist like myself, who is also together with Lynette Ayuko participating in this competition, just giving a chance and hope to you as a lady to take part in this particular competition. So motorsport is just not only reserved for men, also ladies can participate in this sport, and not only just being drivers or navigators, but also indirectly. You can be a marshal. You can take part, of course, in the organization of particular events. You can organize other local events in different forms, because motorsport is varied and, of course, can cut across different kinds of machines that you can use for motorsport. So remember, we are here as the official media partners of the KCB WRC Safari Rally, and we are pitched camp here at Sleeping Warrior. It is a very beautiful site. Actually, I'm sure my very good friend cameraman can actually take it. The Sleeping Warrior, the reason why it's called Sleeping Warrior, there's a very beautiful topographical mount, a hill that sort of looks like a warrior who is lying down. That's why they call it Sleeping Warrior. One of the most difficult sections in this particular competition. Remember, tomorrow is the D-Day, the final day of this particular competition. And remember, it will be held at Hell's Gate. And Hell's Gate is in Naivasha, for those who know very well. That's a very famous place where we'll be having that particular time trial stage for the drivers. And then definitely we shall be having the ceremonial finish and also the award for the top drivers in the different categories in this particular competition. So here, definitely we shall be here to show you and give you everything about the spills and thrills of the WRC.
Well, in Tony Kwalanda's fashion, he has just walked out of the screen. Of course, I know he's to go and enjoy himself in the WRC Safari Rally. As he has mentioned there, TV47 is the official media partner with KCB Safari Rally. And of course, this will ensure that you, our viewer, and of course, fans of the Safari Rally and motorsport in general, get to enjoy what is happening in Naivasha if you are not able to attend in that particular global event. Let me call it global because it's happening in Kenya, and only in Kenya, being the only African country given this particular privilege to be able to host this a grandiose and prestigious event. And of course, Tony Kwalanda is not alone. He has a team of other individuals there down at Cape Media individuals, among them Radio 47's Fred Arocho to ensure that you are brought up to speed. Tomorrow is the final day, the final stages of this particular competition, and we'll be giving you blow-by-blow coverage of what is happening up to the last minute, where the champion will be crowned, and of course, sea of champagne, where they usually pour champagne. Of course, that is a privilege that is only given to the winner of this particular event. Thank you very much for joining us for this afternoon to inform you what is happening across the 47 counties. Remember, we also have this and much more stories available to you on our website at www.tv47.digital. Later on, we have other shows. Among the shows we have this afternoon is Sports Extravaganza with Askofu Danko, and of course Tony Kolanda, as you have mentioned, will be giving us updates on what is happening, what will be happening at that particular moment. And later on, way in the night, we'll be crowning the weekend rather with Air Vibes with Shatter Boy. Do have yourself a lovely Saturday afternoon and weekend by extension. My name is Samson Jura. Mimi naenda Vasha.